Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, weasels are everywhere, and in this case, they are situated in Romania. For the ones that might not be familiar with Romania, Romania is a country in Eastern Europe, is a NATO member state, is part of the European Union, so it all a-okay for the new club, for the old club actually. It's a weasel bottom feeder state vassal to the United States of America. At the moment, Romania has a lot of NATO forces on its territory because that's the way it goes. They can have forces on your territory, you can't have forces on their territory. Even the United States of America has air defense systems in Romania. That's NATO infrastructure, military infrastructure, but the Romanians cannot touch them. It's only the Americans touching them. So that tells you how they are aligned and they're friends and they're partners. Yeah, okay, I use your territory, shoot at those guys. When those guys shoot here, I'm taking my toys and you get destroyed. Anyway, so what's going on over there? This is what's going on over there. Right? From Associated Press, in Romania, French battle group holds NATO combat exercise. This is from today, the 25th of January 2022. 2023, I'm sorry, and we have some beautiful tanks here, and we're gonna go and see what's going on over there. So beautiful tanks, a French Leclerc main battle tank shoots during an exercise at training range in Smârdan, eastern Romania, Wednesday, January 25th. Great. Around 600 French soldiers deployed to Romania as part of a NATO battle group on the alliance's eastern flank carried out live combat exercises on Wednesday. Do you think that, and it says here, to test their preparedness amid Russia's ongoing war in neighboring Ukraine? Getting prepared for what? Now, these are beautiful exercises. Here you see the French flag over there, and the European Union flag as well. And let's go and see here. Right here, French flags, European Union, Smârdan. Okay, again, French, everywhere. Good. I hope that they keep you safe because you are weasels and you can't keep, your country safe. So let's go down here and see what these weasels are doing. Do you think this is going to be this will be considered an escalation by the Russians? Do you think so? Remember when the Russians brought some troops in their country, in Russia, at the border with Ukraine? Remember what the West was saying? That's a provocation, get your troops away, tra-la-la-la-la-la. Now these guys are doing live ammunition by Ukraine, which is close to Russia, and we have a war over there. Now, for the ones who are not familiar with where Romania is and where, geography, I will provide you with this little map here, and this little map here will show you who's who, what's what. All right, so this is Romania right here, and this is Europe right here. Russia is right here. Ukraine is here. I will make it like this now. So we have Romania, the dark green right here. This little it's Moldova. All right, let's make it bigger so we see that. Okay, that's how far it goes. And then we have here, this is Ukraine right here. And this is Russia right here in the east. The whole thing here is Russia. So here is Crimea, where my thumbnail is, right here. This is Crimea. The war occurs here. Romania is here. These guys are in Smârdan, somewhere here, all right? Here is Ukraine. Here is Odessa, where I'm having my thumbnail right here. Odessa, Crimea, Sevastopol, Donbass, Luhansk, Donetsk, and all that. So now you know where this little exercise occurs. Here is this, guys. This is the war right here, right? That's Poland here. This is Lukashenko's Belarus. These are the Baltic states, 5 million people all together. I always mention that, so we put things in a context. So, Smârdan, Romania, around 500 French soldiers deployed as part of a NATO battle group in Romania held a combat exercise on Wednesday to test the 30-nation military alliance's readiness on its eastern flank. How about the western flank? Are Romanian troops in, let's say, Portugal or maybe United States of America to make sure that they defend the western flank of NATO from the North Koreans or the Chinese? Or maybe the Russians coming from Alaska? No. Amid Russia's war in neighboring Ukraine, the drill at a training range near Romania's eastern town of Smrdan involved some 200 military vehicles, including 4 French Leclerc battle tanks that practice fire live ammunition. 200 military vehicles, got that? But only 4 French Leclerc. Romania's defense ministry said the main purpose of the exercise is to train the battle group, and I'm quoting, on the rapid development capability and execution of a combat mission, end quote, within a collective NATO defense operation. Great. The Leclerc tanks used Wednesday are the same model that French President Emmanuel Macron said Sunday he asked his defense minister to work on the possibility of sending to Ukraine. Kiev has persistently requested tanks from its Western allies to help its war effort, and they get them. After much hesitation, the request, blah, 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 blah. So what's going on here? We know what's going on in Romania, at least, right? Here it is, Romania again, Ukraine, and Russia. So let's go back to my face here. And Romania is used as a whore. That's what Romania is. And Romania has been under soft occupation by foreign entities, and that's the way it is. What do you want? You should be okay with that, since you have a president of a kind of, anyway, just check his name and check who he is, but I think that's the way it should be. If you're French, you should have a German president. If you're Hungarian, you should have, I don't know, a Polish president. If you're Polish, you should, in Poland, you should have, I don't know, a Hungarian president. And if you're in Romania, you should have a German president. If you're, I don't know, in British, you should have an, I don't know, Scot president, or maybe let's go deeper, German president, because you can't have presidents from your own whatever. You need someone else. I don't know why that is. Well, I know, but I'm playing dumb. Even I might look that way. I'm under camouflage, you know, the camouflage of dumbness. So yeah, that's great news, Romania. Guess what the Russians are doing? They're obviously taking a peek on those guys just target practicing. And do you think that's an escalation? I mean, you just expose yourselves. And guess what happens if those guys do something to you? Those guys being the Russians. And they really do something to you. Those guys live far away from Romania. Do you think those guys are to defend you? No, they're not. They're to defend their own interests on your territory. Remember what, what's his name? General, now he's Leclerc in my head, de Gaulle. General de Gaulle. He said, when he was speaking in front of the European leaders, remember 2 things. 2. 1, the Americans don't live in Europe, do not live among us. And the second one, England / Great Britain is an island, or our island, he said is an island. This too, that means when those guys intervene on the European landmass, you know, the continent, they do it with certain kind of interest. Remember, the Americans can come and do whatever they want in Europe. If shit hits the fan in Europe, what do you think the Americans can do if they're losing? Go back there, and they just come here and just conduct a war, not on their territory, on your territory. Remember the Second World War, for instance. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's a bad thing for, you know, you destroy your, you expose your territory by, you know, pushing, poking. Remember, you are not friends with your neighbor, but somehow you're friends with someone, I don't know, 50 settlements away from you. Really? I mean, why can't you be friends with everybody? Oh, because your enemy is right here, and because they're bad dudes. That's how the story goes. Well, anyway, it was a since I lived in Romania for some time, and I know how the mass media, the politicians were viewing Russia after 1990. when it became independent, democratic, somehow the Russians were the evilest, the most evil people on the planet. They didn't try to do anything with the Russians. No friendship. It was, I mean, there were some little politicians that were in Russia's pocket, because the Romanians have leaders that are always in someone else's pocket. If you exclude Ceausescu, the dictator. The dictator was not in anybody's pocket. That's why he ended up as he ended up. You can call him however you want. He was, unfortunately for these guys and everybody else, he was his own man over there. And Romania, as bad as it was, maybe that was one of the rarest times when Romania was, let's put it, conducting its foreign policy in an independent way, and internal policy. Bad as it was, but look at Cuba with all those sanctions, how well it's doing. Look at North Korea. So yeah, when you want to be independent, you get that treatment. So, and Romania got it at the end of the 1980s, when things were ordered to change. But anyway, we won the Cold War. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.